Hello and welcome. Reprieve for Nigeria and 10 other countries as the United Kingdom removes all from its red list, effective tomorrow. The Department of State Services alerts the nation over subterranean groupings and plots to destabilize the country during the Yuletide, warns those behind the act to retrace their steps. The President holds separate meetings with 3 northern governors over enhancing security in the region. Parties agree to address the porous borders. And over 50 people killed after a fuel tanker explosion in northern Haiti. Prime Minister declares 3 days of national mourning. Plus we have international news from our London studio.
On business news tonight, federal government unveils multi-million naira world-class clothing and garment production center in Imo State to promote the country's fashion industry.
And from Abuja, ahead of the build-up to the 2023 presidential election, national leader of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Chief Bola Tinubu, says he is consulting and will make his decision public.
It appears calm is now returning after the storm, as the United Kingdom is set to remove Nigeria and 10 other countries from its travel red list in a matter of hours. The UK's Health Secretary Sajid Javid told British Parliament today that the decision became necessary in the face of the spread of Omicron in the UK and the world. The red list was reintroduced in late November as a precaution after the emergence of Omicron variant. Countries currently on the UK red list, apart from Nigeria, are Angola, Botswana, Eswatini, Lesotho and Malawi. Others are Mozambique, Namibia, South Africa, Zambia and Zimbabwe. The Nigerian government had expressed disappointment over the inclusion of the country on the list and asked for its removal.
More widely.
And he's making a strong...
Now that there is community transmission of Omicron in the UK, and Omicron has spread so widely across the world, the travel red list is now less effective in slowing the incursion of Omicron from abroad. So I can announce today that whilst we'll maintain our temporary testing measures for international travel, we will be removing all 11 countries from the travel red list effective from 4 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Meanwhile, the federal government has confirmed that the United Arab Emirates has conceded 7 flight slots to Nigeria's flag carrier Air Peace. This action, which was confirmed by the Ministry of Aviation, follows the withdrawal of Emirates' 21-slot winter schedule by the federal government, owing to what it described as a breach of reciprocity. The UAE had earlier denied Air Peace flights from operating to Sharjah near Dubai 3 times a week, and last week joined the United Kingdom, Canada and Argentina in adding Nigeria to its travel red list over cases of the Omicron variant of COVID-19. The Presidential Steering Committee on COVID-19 has given Nigerians the assurance that the federal government was working assiduously to ensure that the flight restrictions were lifted in about a week. Away from COVID-19, the Department of State Services is raising the alarm over alleged plots by certain groups and individuals to cause a breakdown of law and order in the country as the Yuletide approaches. Addressing journalists in Abuja, the spokesperson of the service, Dr. Peter Afunanya, warns those behind the act to retrace their steps as they and their collaborators will be dealt with according to the law. He also faulted the allegations that the service has denied the leader of the Indigenous people of Biafra, the proscribed group, Nnamdi Kanu, of his fundamental human rights.
As Yuletide approaches, it's not unusual for the Department of State Services to gather journalists to give update on the security situation in the country.
Inform the public.
The spokesman of the service issues an advisory to parents and guardians to be mindful of their children and wards during the Yuletide, while raising alarm of an alleged plot to destabilize the country during the period, including a plan to kidnap members of the National Assembly as they propose to go on recess this week.
Parents and guardians are advised to be watchful of their children and wards and ensure that they do not engage in unlawful acts. Aside students, recessing members of National Assembly and the state houses of assembly and other private and public sector workers on vacation may be predisposed to threats of various degrees. This also applies to Nigerians who may travel from within and outside the country to join their loved ones for the celebrations.
The service is denying the alleged maltreatment of the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, who is confined to the facility of the service while facing trial over alleged treason.
Accusations of maltreatment negate the service's standard operation procedure on the implementation of rights of a suspect. 2, Nnamdi Kanu enjoys full luxury in the holding facility, incomparable to any of its type anywhere in the country. He is accorded full rights and privileges. He is never denied his right of worship or freedom from his select religious practice. Adequate attention, that's number 3, adequate attention is paid to Kanu's health. He has unhindered access to the best medical care and doctors. Kanu himself has confirmed to his visitors that the service has never in any way maltreated him.
The service continues to urge Nigerians to support security agencies in their efforts to make the nation safer.
Meanwhile, the leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, has instituted a fresh suit against the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, and the Department of State Services over an alleged denial of his fundamental human rights. In the fresh suit filed by his lawyer, Maxwell Okpara, Mr. Kanu is seeking an order of the Federal High Court, Abuja, to compel the DSS to allow him access to food, medical care, and the clothing of his choice. He claimed that even though he is facing criminal trial, the law still presumes him innocent until proven guilty. In a 10-paragraph affidavit in support of the suit and deposed to by one Emmanuel Kanu, Mr. Kanu alleged that despite repeated court orders, he's still being prevented from enjoying quality medical care. No date has, however, been fixed for the hearing of the suit. In other security matters, the National Security Advisor, retired Major General Babagana Monguno, has named some groups supporting the terrorist organization in the Sahel region. General Monguno made this disclosure in a speech delivered at a forum of the League of Ulamas, Preachers and Imams of Sahel countries in Abuja. According to the NSA, the situation in the Sahel has never been uglier as extremists continue to spread violence, with the number of internally displaced persons rising and increasing rate of food insecurity. According to the NSA, terrorism and the rapid escalation of violent activities by militant Islamist groups in the Sahel since 2016 have been primarily driven by the Islamic State in Greater Sahara, which mainly operates in Mali and extends to Niger Republic and Burkina Faso. The others are Jama'at Nasr al-Islam wal-Muslimi, the Islamic and Muslim Support Group, and the ISDGs, which he says have continued to pose an imminent threat to the stability of the region. He calls for the reassessment of strategies by foreign and regional governments towards the Sahel and to set aside faulty assumptions. More concerns over the security situation in the country, and the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Idris Wase, is accusing the Nigeria Police Force of complicity in the fight against insecurity. Mr. Wase, who moved the motion on the urgent need to immediately halt the wanton killings and kidnappings by bandits in Plateau State and other communities in neighboring states, stated that bandits arrested by vigilante groups and handed to the police are subsequently released without prosecution.
There is a case in point that one of my nephews who is working in Kaduna that was taken by bandits to far away Benungwari. The combined forces of the Air Force went there and rescued him. They were able to arrest. Among the people that did that dastardly act was a member of his own household. Mr. Speaker, I'm telling you for free, the police released all those who were found that were arrested in that day. In Kaduna, of 2 police officers trending on our own who were dismissed because they came here to Nasarawa and arrested armed robbers. They were offered 8 million naira to release. They refused by their colleagues. The vehicles were recovered, and because of that act, again, Mr. Speaker, I am telling you, these 2 officers have been dismissed from service. You don't hear conviction. Yet there will be arrest. There will be parade of those who are criminals. What happened to them? There is not even attempt to take them to court of law. I think some people owe some heads have to roll. If only we must make Nigeria peaceful and a good place for us to live.
And as the spate of attacks continue in Katsina, Taraba and Nasarawa, the governors of the 3 states have separately approached the president for additional support. At a meeting with Governor Darius Ishaku of Taraba State, President Muhammadu Buhari promised to support the state to address issues of porous borders following the recent killing of 11 Nigerians by suspected separatists from southern Cameroon. The governors of Taraba and Nasarawa states also had their time with the president over the security situation in their regions. Our State House correspondent Gloria Umezuke reports.
The President's Day started with visits from 3 northern governors, which is not unusual. They had approached the president on several issues, key among which is insecurity. The governor of Katsina State, Alhaji Aminu Masari, who led a delegation of elders from the state, is received by the president, who then proceeds with the meeting behind closed doors. Against the backdrop of recent attacks by bandits, including the killing of a former Katsina State Commissioner, Dr. Rabi Nasser, the governor who delinked the incidents from that of bandits spoke on the need for better cooperation by states in the northwest region.
What is most important for us to succeed is for all the states, especially in northwestern states, to take the pain and work together to make sure that we block all the loopholes. Luckily enough, the states, including Niger and Nasarawa, that border us, we are working together to make sure that we bring this to a manageable and tolerable level.
In a separate meeting with the governor of Taraba State, Mr. Darius Ishaku, the president offers support towards addressing issues of porous borders. Only last month, suspected Ambazonian separatists from southern Cameroon attacked a community in Taraba State, killing 11 Nigerians, an act which sparked outrage and condemnation.
That is why I'm here to see Mr. President, because he alone can give the order for us to strengthen our border there. We might need also a naval base to be able to secure and police and monitor the people that go in and out, and also an immigration post. All these are requests, and I think Mr. President has assured me that he will do something about it.
For Governor Abdullahi Sule of Nasarawa State, who also met with the president in his office, he maintains that the state is experiencing relative peace, which has paved way for increased agricultural activities. The governors are leaving confident that the federal government's intervention will induce more hope for improved livelihoods of communities in the region. From the presidential villa, Gloria Umezuke, Channels Television News.
In part 2, after the break, the president reappoints Mrs May Uba as the National Commissioner for a second term in place of his aide, Mrs Loretta Onoche. That's in a moment. Do join us again. Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, coming to you live from Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. The United Kingdom delists Nigeria and 10 other countries from its red list effective tomorrow. DSS alerts the nation of a plot by groups and individuals to destabilize the country during the Yuletide, warns those behind the act to retrace their steps. President Muhammadu Buhari meets with 3 northern governors over enhancing security in the region. Parties agreed to address the porous borders. And over 50 people killed after a fuel tanker explosion in northern Haiti. Prime Minister declares 3 days of national mourning. Following the uproar that trailed the nomination of Mrs. Loretta Onoche as the National Commissioner representing Delta State at the Independent National Electoral Commission, the President has reversed his decision. In her place, President Muhammadu Buhari has reappointed Mrs. May Uba as a National Commissioner for a 2nd term. In a letter to the Senate, President Buhari is seeking the confirmation of the nomination of National Commissioners, a resident electoral commissioner, and a minister from Taraba State. Our correspondent Linda Akigbe reports.
It's the final week for the National Assembly to hold plenary sessions before federal lawmakers proceed on the Christmas and New Year holiday, and legislators are trying to tie up loose ends. The National Assembly is expected to pass the 2022 budget before the recess. During Tuesday's plenary session, the Senate receives correspondence from President Muhammadu Buhari seeking the confirmation of nominees for national commissioners and resident electoral commissioners. One of the nominees for INEC National Commissioner, Mrs. May Uba, replaces Mrs. Loretta Onoche, whose earlier nomination was rejected by the Senate for being in breach of the principles of federal character. The President also requested the Senate to approve the nomination of Mr. Muazu Sambo as the ministerial nominee representing Taraba State.
Malam Mohammed Haruna, Niger State, North Central National Commissioner. Mrs. May Uba, Delta State, South National Commissioner. Ukiagu Kenneth Nnamdi, Abia State, Southeast National Commissioner. Major General A.B. Alkali, retired, Adamawa State, Northeast National Commissioner.
The upper chamber is also amending its standing rules to ensure smooth running and reflect present realities. Of note is the amendment of Clause 2C, which stipulates the procedure for electing presiding officers. Lawmakers are split between the option of a simple majority or a 2/3 majority for the election of presiding officers.
We are talking about the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It's not a mild matter. It's not a simple matter. We are talking about the first sitting, the inauguration of the Senate. I think 2/3 is good enough.
I want to believe that, particularly with our experience, that a simple majority will suffice.
Those who are standing order 2 as amended, and the amendment is simple majority. Those who are standing order 2 as amended remains part of the rules. Say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
The Clerk of the Senate is therefore expected to produce a new standing orders book as quickly as possible. Linda Akibi, Channels Television News.
We'll stay in Abuja, but here's my colleague Terry Ikumi. Terry?
Hello, Ijoma. Ahead of the 2023 general elections, former Governor of Lagos State, Senator Bola Tinubu, says he will make known his intention on contesting the presidential seat public in due time. The national leader of the All Progressives Congress, APC, said this after holding a closed-door meeting with leaders of the Northern Alliance Committee in Abuja, explaining that for now he does not want to distract President Buhari with his 2023 ambition. Meanwhile, Chairman of the Northern Alliance Committee, Ambassador Lawal Munir, says the group is backing Chief Tinubu on his ambition.
But I will still effectively and widely consult, particularly brainstorm with my friends and find a way to come out, find a date to come out openly and tell Nigerians. But the president is still in office. I don't want to distract him from all the challenges that he might face today. So don't muddle the political water. Consult, make our program known to the people later. And the intention is clear. So you can keep guessing.
The main reason is to let him know that there are people that are working for him, and we are convinced everywhere in the northern part of this country they are ready to receive him. And we are working not only within the northern region, but we are working throughout Nigeria. My intention is to make sure we take him and all what we want him to be around, and to make sure that he wins the election when the time comes.
Staying with the 2023 general elections, the Kogi state government is urging youths in the country to ensure that young and vibrant candidates emerge as leaders. According to the government, youths must leverage on the Not Too Young to Run Act to elect a young Nigerian as president. The Chief of Staff to Governor Yahaya Bello, Mr. Jamiu Asuku, stated this at a town hall meeting with some youths from the 19 northern states in Lokoja, the Kogi state capital.
These youth, under the aegis of Yahaya Bello Network, are drawn from the 19 northern states of the country. They converge on the Kafal's Hall in Lokoja, the state capital, to inaugurate the Kogi state chapter of the Yahaya Bello Network. In attendance are some top government functionaries, legislators, and some members of the All Progressives Congress. The National Secretary General of the organization sets out the objective of the network.
One of the aims of YBN is actualizing Not Too Young to Run, bill signed into law by the President Muhammad Buhari in 2018 with the aim of promoting youth participation in governance and enhancement of democracy in the country.
For the national chairman of the network, the leadership style of Governor Yahaya Bello of Kogi State has made him fit to rule the country.
I'm therefore glad to be here today in Kogi State as I present our call to serve to your own His Excellency Governor Yahaya Bello Adoza to contest presidency from 2023. We require campaigning by these authorities. I have authority.
Thereafter, the Kogi State arm of the network is inaugurated as the oath of office administered on them. Representing the Kogi State Governor, the Chief of Staff calls on the youth to intensify effort in rebuilding Nigeria.
And we all believe that for us to get this together, we must operate within the principle of equity, justice, and fairness. Then we must continue to stay in that direction for us to continue to remain one nation.
The network is focused on producing a vibrant young person as the next president of Nigeria. One they are optimistic will bring a positive change to the nation.
In Rivers State, Governor Nyesom Wike has reiterated that governance should be about the people and that there's need for a feedback channel to assess the performance of public office holders. He made a statement during the commissioning of the Tombia Road extension in GRA Port Harcourt as part of a series of project inauguration in the state. The project was inaugurated by Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi of Enugu State.
Also here was a professional...
The importance of good road network cannot be overemphasized, which is why government officials, traditional rulers, and other residents are in Rumeme community for the inauguration of the Tombia Road extension in the GRA area Port Harcourt, the River State capital.
Thickness of 10 centimeters, or 4 inches if you may.
The 1.7-kilometer road is the 39th to be delivered by the River State Ministry of Works in 13 months under Governor Wike's urban renewal and rural regeneration agenda.
Some sections of this road had to be covered with geotech.
This dualized road, which links the busy Ikwere Road to the new GRA area, will significantly ease traffic and reduce commuting time in Port Harcourt metropolis, an achievement the special guest, Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi of Enugu State, believes will inspire more trust between the people and the government.
Today's experience evidences a quantum leap in the infrastructural development of this great state. And I dare say that my brother, the governor of Rivers State, is truly Mr. Project.
Governor of Rivers State.
For Governor Wike, the essence of governance is fulfilling campaign promises.
This is one of the promises we have made and fulfilled. And I have challenged our people that government is not only by making promises. Government should make promise and fulfill the promise. And that is why I have said, we too, who are the populace, we too, who are the citizens, should be able to hold us accountable for whatever we say, should hold us accountable for whatever promise we make.
May all glory honor be yours forever.
After the commissioning, Governor Wike leads his special guest on an inspection of the Port Harcourt campus of the Nigerian Law School, where the Enugu State Governor reaffirms that Governor Wike is one of the best in project delivery. The inauguration and flag-off of projects is to continue in Rivers State for the next couple of days in fulfillment of the Wike-led administration's commitment to give a major facelift to the state.
Still ahead on the news at 10. Federal government unveils multi-million naira world-class clothing and garment production center in Imo State to promote the nation's fashion industry. That's on Business News. Join us again.
Welcome back to the news at 10. The Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission is organizing the Customer Complaints Resolution meeting to allow electricity consumers lodge complaints, especially as it concerns distribution and poor service delivery. The regulator says the three-day meeting is called to further protect the rights of consumers in Lagos and bring them face-to-face with the Ikeja Electricity Distribution Company.
Notice already put there.
This meeting called by the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission is for two reasons. Customers of Ikeja Electricity Distribution Company are encouraged to raise issues concerning distribution, with those issues expected to be resolved on the spot.
We are not taking any funds from the Commission.
The regulator also wants consumers to be aware of their rights and obligations.
Customer connection comes immediately with meters. Immediately you're connected to the network, you get metered almost immediately, and that's the ideal thing to do. So metering for me, is not a privilege. It's your fundamental right as citizens or as customers of a disco to get metered.
There are some customers that are not ready to wait or are not willing to wait for the NNMP meters. That's the national mass meters. So the regulator allow those set of customers to also go approach the map and pay for those meters and get meters.
After the various presentations on meter deployment plans and how consumers can save energy, the floor is thrown open.
Every consumer must be metered within the next 3 months now. If you are not metered, there's going to be a problem.
The main business of the day gets underway, and as one could guess, metering and outrageous estimated billing top the list of issues raised.
Year 2018, they have disconnected the wire from up, even though they carry the wire go. And every month without wire on that pole, they are bringing, last week, they are still bringing the bill.
As of yesterday, I was given 287 naira. Every month I visit NEPA. The list they give me before now is 145,000 naira for a 2-bedroom apartment.
How long
have I made that complaint? How long? I've been making complaints for the past.
As the meeting progresses, more complaints are raised. On the sideline, the distribution company customer care representatives are on hand to help resolve the issues. It is expected that not all the issues raised will be resolved right in the auditorium. The regulator says it is tracking the complaints to ensure they're resolved.
There is no alternative to metering, and that's why the Commission initially started with the meter asset provider scheme. And the government has also come to say, as a matter of policy, the government introduced the national mass metering in order to address those issues.
The meeting continues for the next 2 days, with more complaints expected to be raised and possibly resolved at the shortest possible time.
Young people who desire to own a BMW luxury car may not wait too long. With a down payment of 10%, a customer can take home a brand new BMW 3 Series. And that's according to the General Manager Marketing and Corporate Communications of Coscharis Group, Abiona Babarinde. He was speaking during the unveiling of the latest variant in the luxury car series.
BMW is not a new name in Nigeria's automobile market. Just like Coscharis, its exclusive representative in the country. Outside and inside this building is a showcase of its luxury cars like the BMW 7 Series, X5, X7 and more. The latest model for unveiling to the Nigerian market is the BMW 3 Series, set to have been manufactured with features to give users a unique driving experience.
We're proud to say that the new BMW 3 Series is a market leader in its segment, especially given the new configurations and updates included in this current model. Barely on the road, the BMW 3 Series sedan is already leaving everything behind it, including conventions and expectations.
The company management speaks glowingly of this new brand, which it says will never stop while on transit to change tires.
BMW stays with it. It's a lifestyle, it's luxury. We are saying to people, you have worked so hard from January up to this very moment. You need to give yourself a treat. How best will you do that than buying a BMW 3 Series? Go home and relax, and you have a car that comes with service and repairs for free.
With the millennials as the target market, the 2022 model car comes with a 4-year or 200,000 kilometers repairs inclusive and 3-year or 40,000 service inclusive packages, all free. Besides the luxury, consumers are assured of comfort and affordability of the German iconic brand.
For you to enjoy this luxury from BMW, you also have that soft landing in the finance scheme by getting this financial support. 10% with Coscharis Mobility, you're good to go.
With the unveiling underway, members of executive of Coscharis Group honors the passage of its vice president, Mrs. Charity Maduka. Mrs. Maduka passed on at her family home in Nnewi in Anambra State on Saturday, November the 27th, 2021. She has been the vice president of the Coscharis Group since its inception.
And our thoughts and prayers are with the family. We move on to some more business. Here's Anne Waudu.
Thank you, Ijoma. Hello and welcome to Business News. The federal government, in partnership with the Imo State government, has commissioned a multi-million naira state-of-the-art shared facility fashion center for the production of garments and clothing items in Imo State and its environs under the National Micro, Small and Medium Enterprise Clinic. During the commissioning of the facility, the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osibajo, says the facility is a one-stop shop for garment production and clothing, which has about 200 world-class manual and automated fashion equipment.
The Vice President, Professor Yemi Osibajo, arrives in Owerri, the Imo State capital, to commission the Imo State Shared Facility Fashion Cluster located on Olu Road as part of the programs for the 29th edition of the National Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Clinic. With the commissioning out of the way, the Vice President and the Governor proceed to Ahiajoku Convention Center, where they both inspect the exhibition of products by the MSMEs in the state. The Minister of State for Industry, Trade and Investment, Ambassador Mariam Katagum, sets the tone for the event.
The MSME clinics have since inception in 2017 served as an auspicious forum for increasing government's relationship with key stakeholders in the MSME sector.
For the Vice President, the idea of the MSME clinic is to improve the quality of locally made goods, create jobs, increase access to modern machines, and increase revenue.
The MSME clinic is an opportunity for small businesses to meet with regulatory agencies such as NAFDAC, the Corporate Affairs Commission, the SON, SMEDAN, Bank of Industry, etc., so that they can get to know what the problems of small businesses in this state are, and the small businesses themselves can benefit from the advice and, in some cases, the help of some of these regulatory agencies.
On his part, the host governor, Hope Uzodinma, promises that the state government will continue to provide an enabling environment for businesses to thrive.
Already, some private industry giants are here with us doing business, both in the refinery, manufacturing, brewery, and other areas of endeavor. We expect more people to come because Imo State is actually the destination point for investment.
This shared facility fashion center is the fourth in the series under the National MSMEs Clinic initiative. Meanwhile, trading at the stock markets today ended negative on key banking sector components, pulling the benchmark indicator back by almost 0.25% amid increased volume of transactions. Laddie Williams has the details.
Hello and welcome to the Stock Market Report. Well, it's the second trading day of the week and the bear returns, not giving the bull a chance to shine again. And this move wiped out about 49 billion naira from the market cap. Let's look at the activity chart. We see volume is up by 17.62% compared to yesterday. Meanwhile, value and deals are down today. Over to the gainers counter, we see Custodian Investment PLC, Royal Exchange and Maya leading that counter, while UPDC Real Estate Investment led the losers counter. Its share price lost about 6% to close at 4 naira 20 kobo. To the sectoral performance now, we see the banking index dropped by over 1%, largely due to the combined significant losses in the share price of GTCO, UBA Zenith Bank and Access Bank, while two other lenders contributed to this decline on their counter. Looking at the top trades, we see Access Bank leading, adding about 142 deals. We also have Universal Insurance and Unity Bank. Quite a dramatic turn today. Let's see if we can get a Santa Claus rally. And that's the Stock Market Report. I'm Laddie Williams. It's back to you.
And that's business news. Thank you for watching. I'm Anne Nwawadu. It's back to you, Joma.
Thanks a lot, Anne. Next on the news at 10, over 50 people killed after a fuel tanker explosion in northern Haiti. Prime Minister declares 3 days of national mourning. And more international news from our London studio. The join us again. Welcome back. More than 50 people have been killed after a fuel tanker explosion in northern Haiti. Reports say the vehicle was involved in an accident. Here's Simon Pusey with more in Around the World in 5.
Good evening and welcome to the Channel studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. A Belarusian opposition leader who rallied mass protests against disputed leader Alexander Lukashenko has been jailed for 18 years. Sergei Tikhanovsky was convicted of organizing riots, among other charges, following a trial condemned as a sham. He planned to challenge Mr. Lukashenko in the 2020 presidential election, but was detained before the vote. His wife, Svetlana Tikhanovskaya, took on Mr. Lukashenko, who claimed victory in the widely discredited poll. She claimed victory herself, but fearing for her own safety, went into exile with her children the next day. The highest temperature ever recorded in the Arctic has been officially confirmed, with scientists warning it sounds alarm bells over the Earth's changing climate. The World Meteorological Organization verified the record of 38 degrees Celsius reported in a Siberian town last year. The temperature was 18 degrees Celsius higher than the area's average daily maximum. The WMO said the extreme heat was more benefiting the Mediterranean than the Arctic. It is the first time the agency has included the Arctic Circle in its archive of extreme weather reports. Rescuers are continuing to search for 2 people still missing under the rubble of houses destroyed by a suspected gas explosion in the Sicilian town of Ravanusa. The National Fire Service have confirmed at least 7 people had died in the incident. 4 bodies were pulled from the rubble on Monday morning after being identified by sniffer dogs. In the explosion, 4 houses collapsed and another 3 were damaged. A gas leak is thought to be the most likely cause. Ethiopia has rejected a plan by the UN's top human rights body to hold a special session to discuss the human rights situation in the country. Ethiopia announced at the end of November that it had set up a task force to deal with human rights violations during the conflict in the north of the country between its military and TPLF rebels. Ethiopia's foreign ministry said that it was perplexed and saddened by the UN Human Rights Council's decision and has called on member states to reject and vote against the special session. Uganda's opposition leader, Robert Kyagulanyi, popularly known as Bobi Wine, has tweeted photos of police and military outside his home. The pictures come ahead of planned campaigns in Kayunga district, 55 kilometers northeast of the capital Kampala. Bobi Wine accuses the police and military of attempting to block him from leaving his home. Hundreds of people have fled into the streets in cities across eastern Indonesia after a powerful 7.4 magnitude earthquake struck the country. So far, there have been no immediate reports of casualties or extensive damage. Earlier, tsunami warnings had been revoked by the meteorology agency. Eyewitness video shows dozens gathered along streets in East Nusa Tenggara province, while people could also be seen fleeing in nearby South Sulawesi province. 2 crew members on a British cargo vessel have been found to be over the legal limit for alcohol after a collision with a Danish barge in the Baltic Sea that killed at least 1 person. Pictures have emerged of the 90-metre Scott carrier with a dent in the bow of the boat, while you can also see the large hole in the hull of the 55-metre Karen Hodge barge, which caused it to capsize. One of the 2 Danish crew members was found dead in the hull. The other has not yet been found. Kim Kardashian is one step closer to her dream of becoming a lawyer after revealing she has passed a key law exam on her 4th attempt. The reality TV star and businesswoman posted the news on social media, urging fans never to give up on the goals they have set their mind on. The 41-year-old has spent years advocating for criminal justice reform, including lobbying at the White House. She announced in 2019 that she wanted to go further and qualify in law. And finally, hundreds of kayaks decked with Christmas lights and decorations have taken to canals of central Copenhagen. 700 kayaks moved along the canal for the parade to bring light into darkness. The procession of light at one of the darkest times of the year in Scandinavia originated in Sweden at the end of the 19th century and was later adopted by their neighbours in Denmark. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel studios in Lagos.
Many thanks, Simon. Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta says the decision to strip Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang of the club captaincy following a disciplinary breach was in the best interest of the club. But the Gabonese international will not be considered for Arsenal's next home game to West Ham United. And Premier League players and staff must take a lateral flow test every time they enter their club's training ground as part of strict measures to curb the threat of coronavirus. Now, the protocols were agreed after Man United's Premier League match at Brentford, scheduled for today, and Tottenham's trip to Brighton last Sunday were postponed due to COVID-19 outbreaks. And that's sports news.
Thanks, Ayotunde. And the main news again. The United Kingdom today said Nigeria and 10 other countries will be delisted from its red list tomorrow, December the 15th, 2021. That's the news at 10 tonight. Thanks for staying with us. I'm Ijeoma Onyato. Good night.